There are two things that are critically important that must be present who wants to make a massive change in their life. I'm telling you, it's going to sound like a contradiction, but stick with me here. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Cabin Checks. I'm your host, Brandon Burns, and today I got a little bit of a controversial topic for you. I don't know, maybe it's not controversial. We'll see in the comment section below what you think about this topic, but I want to give you the two things, the prerequisites, if you will, that I believe are absolutely required for anybody who wants to make a massive change in their life. I don't care if it's a mindset change, a physical change, you want to get yourself in shape, take control of your health. If it's a business change, a financial change, you want to start to take control of your finances and finally get the freedom that you want. Whatever kind of change that you want to make in your life, I believe that there are two things that are critically important that must be present in order for that to happen. And those two things, I'm telling you, it's going to sound like a contradiction, but stick with me here. Those two things are peace and pain. Peace and pain. Those are the two things that I feel are needed to make a change in your life. Let me explain why I feel that way. Number one, peace. You need to be comfortable with nothing. You have to learn how to be at peace when it seems externally like nothing is going your way. When you have no material possessions, when maybe your relationship isn't working out, when you are all alone with no resources, nothing, can you be at peace? Let me give you an example. When I was young, right, I went to this gymnastics camp, middle of nowhere, Crossville, Tennessee, and I was 15 years old at the time, 14 actually when I first went there, but I have a summer birthday, so it was 14, and then later on that summer I was 15 when I came back to camp. And a really, really incredible human being who worked at my gym, his name was Harry Barker. He worked at that camp and he got me a scholarship to go because he knew that we couldn't afford it. We couldn't even afford the gymnastics lessons that I was taking on a weekly basis at my home gym out in Huntsville. And he knew the situation that we were in. He thought that I had some talent. He saw a lot of passion in me. He thought that I worked hard. He wanted to do something good for me. So he got me a scholarship to go to that camp for 1 week, and it blew my mind. I loved it so much that I ended up writing the owners of the camp an email, and I said, I will do whatever it takes to come back here. I don't have any money, neither does my family, but I'll figure it out. Like, what do you need me to do? Do you want me to work off the tuition? Like, how can I help? You know, I was just doing whatever I could to get back to this place because it was so transformational for me. And they wrote me back and they said, actually, we have a position called JC, Junior Counselor. Of course, I get over there and I find out that it's lovingly referred to as janitor children because that's really what we were. We were the camp janitors, and the situation was you will help clean the camp, wash the dishes, vacuum the gym, all sorts of stuff. And in return, we'll give you a break in your tuition. I said, say less, I'm there, right? And I go, and it works out really, really, really well. And again, everything that your hands find to do with all your might. And so I did my absolute best. Before I went out there, my mom actually said, listen, if they got you cleaning toilets, you be the best toilet scrubber they have ever freaking seen. And that was the attitude that I have, and I did that, right? And they said, man, you're doing such a good job that next year when you come back to camp, we would actually like you to be the head JC. We want you to be in charge of all the other kids who go through this program, and you can kind of be the leader of the junior counselor program. I said, absolutely, I'm there. So I go back the next year, and of course, if you're the leader, you get all the stuff that nobody else can handle or is willing to handle. So I'm going into the cabins with a shop vac strapped to my vacuum and sucking up hornets' nests before camp starts, getting the cabins ready for everybody. I'm cleaning up if a kid gets sick and throws up somewhere. That's my job to clean up. We had a sewer line bust one time. That was freaking phenomenal. That was an amazing experience, right? So there was all this stuff that was going on. And what's so funny is I hadn't thought about that experience in a little while. And just the other day, I was having a conversation with somebody, and I said, you know, some of the happiest, most fulfilling moments of my life were when I was doing that job. When I was literally cleaning up human excretions I don't know if that's the right word for it, from the floor. That was my job. And I was doing it with people that I really liked being around. I was doing it at a place that had a mission that I supported. This was a gymnastics camp, but they really poured in to the kids that went there. They really were big on developing people beyond just sport-specific skills, but pouring into them with motivation, increasing their mental capacity, their mindset, really changing lives. And I bought into that. I really, really believed in it. And so I felt like I was contributing to that. And I stayed present. I was doing the sport that I loved. When I got a break between working, I was able to go train with everybody else. And it was incredible. It was some of the best year. I did this year after year after year, right? Even as bad as the work was sometimes was for me, I did it year over year. And those were some of the best years of my life. And what that taught me was that staying present in the moment and surrounding yourself with a mission, surrounding yourself with people, energy that you believe in, that contributes to you in some holistic way. When you put yourself in those environments and you focus on being grateful that you're there, even in the midst of all the nonsense and driving around a golf cart, carrying trash bags to the dumpster and chasing snakes with a rake, all sorts of crazy stuff, you can genuinely be happy. And you've got to develop that skill set. So that's number one, is developing the skill set of having peace even in the midst of some chaotic situations. That's the first thing you got to have if you ever want to change your life. The second thing that you need is pain. Now let's switch gears a little bit on this one because it's a little bit more of a somber conversation. But you need pain. Pain is a requirement, right? It is not a luxury. Pain is something that you have to have if you want to change. What do I mean by that? Everybody has desires. Everybody wants a better life. Everybody wants more money. Everybody wants to have six-pack abs. Everybody wants to have a phenomenal relationship. Like, everybody wants kind of the same stuff. It's funny, I was speaking to Ohio State cheerleading team not too long ago. They brought me in to speak to their team and do a couple workshops and keynotes. And I said, you know, of all the sports teams that I've worked with, I've never heard an athlete say, I kind of just want to get like 4th or 5th, and I'm going to be super happy with that. Everybody says the right things. Everybody says, I want to be a national champion. Everybody says, I want to be a Big Ten champion. Everybody says that they want to win. And everybody also says that they're going to be the hardest workers in the room. Everybody also says that they're going to outlast everybody else. Everybody says the right things, and everybody wants the right things. So what do you do if everybody wants what you want and everybody has the same mindset that you have when it comes to getting it? It's your actions and behaviors that separate you from everybody who's not going to get it, because the reality is only one person can win. Bump the participation trophies. That's not real life. Right? One person can win. Is it going to be you? Your actions and your behaviors will determine that. But what stimulates action? What stimulates behavior? What makes that fire inside of you to the point where you say, I have to change? It's non-negotiable. I've got to get this done. The only thing that I have found that does that, I haven't yet found something so inspirational that people are moved that way. Pain is the only thing that I've seen. You might say, well, what about the people who write their kids' names down or their family? They're thinking about them when they do something. They're not thinking about them so they can achieve something. They're thinking about them in the sense of, what if I don't achieve what I'm setting out to do? What are the consequences for them? It's really the pain that's driving them, not the inspiration. It's really wanting to move away from that pain that is allowing them to tap into that different kind of energy, right? So pain is a prerequisite. It is absolutely necessary. And in the same way that you can foster peace by staying present and surrounding yourself with certain types of people and a certain type of energy and a mission and a purpose-led driver that's taking you somewhere, you know, you can foster peace that way. You can also foster pain. You can also stimulate pain internally using some strategies. Well, how can you do that? Number one, keep it front of mind. Keep it present-minded, right? Always remind yourself of, hey, here's the consequences if I don't do what I'm supposed to do. Here's the consequences, right? Now, most of you will suppress pain. Most of you, when you begin to feel pain, you either drink, you smoke, you distract yourself to avoid feeling the pain. The truth of it is, pain is a biological mechanism that is designed to get you to change. It's designed to get you to move. It's a biological and a psychological mechanism. The same way that if you go touch a hot stove as a kid, you immediately pull your hand back. Why? You experienced pain. That's a biological mechanism to say, hey, this is not good for you. Change it. Move. Right? Pain, psychologically, is a psychological hot stove. You feel it, it's supposed to hurt, it's supposed to sting, it's supposed to make you be so uncomfortable that you must change your actions and your behaviors so that you can get some different results and get yourself into a better state. That is the purpose of pain. So stop running from it, stop drowning it out with drugs and alcohol, stop getting distracted and purposefully distracting yourself from the pain. Sit there and allow it to sink in. Remind yourself of the pain. Remind yourself of what's going to happen if you don't do what you're supposed to do. And use that as fuel to get to where you're supposed to go. Right? Now, you might say, okay, I understand the concept of peace. I understand the concept of pain. But B, why in the world do I need both of those things in order to create a change in my life? Because it kind of sounds like those are two opposing forces. They have an opposition. It's like magnets that repel each other, right? You can't possibly have peace and pain at the same time. Well, I'll tell you why. When you have both peace and pain, and let me be specific, when you have peace in the midst of having nothing, and you have pain in the midst of your current reality, you become incredibly risk tolerant. You're not afraid to risk it all. Because if you do lose it all, you know you'll be okay. Why? Because you've learned to foster peace when you have nothing. However, you desperately want more at the same time. Why? Because you're in so much pain that you feel the need to change. So the trick here is gaining the consciousness, the ability to toggle back and forth. Is this a situation where I need to allow myself to feel at peace? Is this a situation where I need to allow myself to feel the pain? If you're trying to stimulate yourself to action, if you're trying to change your behavior, if you're trying to get yourself to move and make a change, rest in that pain for a little bit. Feel the pain, sit in it, and then go do something about it. Use that. If you take a big loss, or if you have a big win, either way, allow yourself to feel that peace for a little bit. Allow the peace to come in and reset you, right? When you have those two dynamics, and you learn to control your own emotions, and you learn that I can take all the risks necessary, because at the end of the day, taking a risk is what you need to be able to make a change. I'm giving you the formula of how to take risks, right? If you have peace in the midst of having nothing, and you have pain in the midst of your current reality, so it makes you want to change, then you are incredibly risk tolerant. You're willing to take the risks necessary. And everything is a risk. Anything that's going to lead you to a better life is a risk. And I'm not just saying quit your job, start a company. I'm not just saying go to the gym for the first time ever and risk being judged by others. Yeah, those are all risks, but those are like macro level things that are easy to think about. I'm talking about if you're going to change a pattern of behavior, it's a risk, because you don't know what's on the other side of that, because you've been living a certain way for your entire life. You've had a certain pattern of response, a certain pattern of relationship dynamic, a certain pattern of decision making. And so you know what those lead to, so it's a comfort zone. Even if it gives you horrible results, it's still a comfort zone. You're still used to it. Making a change in your behavior, making a change in your mentality, making a change in the way that you think, always comes with a risk. In order to make yourself more risk tolerant so that you are willing to take that risk to get the better result, that's why you need the peace and the pain. That dynamic duo is going to get you wherever you need to go. I had a buddy one time tell me, you have to make the choice to take a chance to create a change. And that is exactly where many of you are right now. And if you can learn to modulate your emotions, to maturely control them. I'm not saying get yourself depressed. I'm not saying put yourself in so much pain. I am saying you have to feel it. I am saying stop running from it and run to it so you can do something about it, right? But don't take it out of context. Say, oh, he wants everybody to be sad and upset. No, but I am saying that that is a psychological indicator that, hey, something's wrong here, and maybe I need to do something about it. And if you run from it, you're never going to learn the lesson, because remember, it's not what you learn, it's what changes you that counts. Y'all, hope that you enjoyed this video. As always, if you got value from it, please share this with somebody else who will also get value from it. If you're interested in taking a deeper dive into some of these topics, make sure that you visit everydaymeanseveryday.com, because I'm a huge believer in these things can't be worked on once a month, once a week, once a year. Certainly, these are things that have to be worked on every single day. You need to be held accountable on them every single day. Developing these skill sets takes consistency, which is just work ethic over time. All right. So what I want you to do is head over to everydaymeanseveryday.com, share this with somebody else, like, comment, subscribe, all the YouTube-y stuff. I will see you on the next episode of Cabin Checks. Peace.